It's 12 o'clock.
From the top of the wall, Wallace Hall, it's Proud Fighting Scots Radio, WPFS, FM 105.9, Monmouth.
You're listening to WPFS, Proud Fighting Scots Radio, 105.9, Monmouth. We're back, and you're listening to Wall to Wall Politics with your host, Brody Anderson. Thank you for tuning in on this absolutely beautiful Sunday afternoon. My thermometer says it's 37 here. Spring, it's on its way. You gotta love it. You know, it was nice a couple weeks ago. Was it a couple weeks ago or was it last week? We were in that, like, upper 50s. It was absolutely beautiful, but, you know, it's back in the 40s, but it's fine. It's fine. We're still having beautiful weather. Anyway, thank you for tuning in on this absolutely gorgeous day. So, we're back. This is going to be the farewell season of wall-to-wall politics on WPFS. It's been a joy. I mean, I loved doing this. You know, this was such a great experience for me to express political concepts and ideas that are very important to me. So I really appreciate everyone tuning in. But, you know, we're not done yet. We still have about 16 weeks of political dialogue and political discussion ahead of us. So, you know, don't be sad. We're not done yet. We're not even close to being done. But anyway, as always, you can stream us worldwide from the TuneIn app or from the WPFS website. Also, we're on the dial 105.9 out of Monmouth, right here broadcasting out of the top of beautiful Wallace Hall. And of course, you can, if you're on campus, you can go ahead and watch us on channel 14 via your campus cable. You know, there's a nice little video feed up here in the corner. It's always nice to have people watch me. You know, a little bit of different experience from just hearing my voice on the air is actually be able to watch me. And people say, you know, when they watch me, it's more interesting because you can't see it, but I'm always, you know, doing my mannerisms and hand gestures and when I'm talking. So people are like, Brody, are you Italian or something? But anyway, needless to say, thank you for tuning in. Today on the show, I'm sitting down with, you know, one of my all-time favorite guests, right? You know, this guy was on my very, very, very first episode, right? And he wasn't on in season 2 at all, this last semester, but he's back now. Andrew-angus is joining me today. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm finally glad I got my invitation back. You know?
I know.
Security wouldn't let me in the second season, so you know, I just kind of walked back to my dorm.
Well, you're a public menace. That's what you are.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they call me Angus the Menace.
That's right.
Makes no sense, but you know.
That's right. So what's going on today, Andrew?
Oh, the usual. You know, we got all sorts of Illinois politics to talk about. You know, Illinois is, you know, Illinois.
Illinois is
Illinois. There's no kind of assembly, no kind of thing to compare it to. Excuse me while I just stutter over my words there, but
Illinois politics is a beast of itself. It
is a beast of its own. You know, you got the gerrymandering problem up in like Chicago territory, and then of course you got the taxation, the heavy taxation that's going on.
Oh yeah, but hey, we got that soda tax repealed.
Yeah, that soda tax repealed now.
Tax repealed. You know,
I'm glad if I enjoy my Coke.
You know, I've heard. Yeah, that's what we should have. We should have brought a couple Cokes in here and celebrate.
Yeah,
right?
it's just.
Yeah, you know, that was something that that I harped on this show over and over and over again for those first 2 seasons about that soda tax going in Cook County, and then it almost went in statewide, was voted down by the House. And I'm glad because it's just a purely regressive tax, and it was absolutely a terrible idea.
It was. I remember the very first show you had me on. Is one of the things we talked about was the soda tax, and that was before it was an actual thing.
Right. That
was a hypothetical at the time, and all of a sudden that came in, and by the time I came back onto season 3, it was gone.
Yeah.
So you know it's a bad tax when all of a sudden it comes in for like maybe a year, and it just goes away. Like, what was that for?
Been around for a year, and the thing is, a lot of other states tried the soda tax. There was that, I think Philadelphia was the one who went through with it, and the amount of soda that was being sold in the city plummeted like no tomorrow, and it was causing people to lose their jobs at the distribution centers.
Absolutely.
So
if you try hurting the company will just let the people go, and that goes down to a worse economy.
Oh yeah, I mean it all trickles down. I mean, it all boils down. And the thing is, it was a purely regressive tax. It was targeting those who needed the most help, right? I mean, the rich people in general do not drink soda as much as people who are in a lower income bracket than that upper class. So, yeah, it was definitely something that needed to go, and I'm very glad it's gone.
That's right, because all the upper class are usually drinking like Smart Water or like some sort of Voss water, some lines of that. Like, hardly ever do you see them drink soda. That, like you say, that's more of a primarily kind of a lower class kind of a thing, because it's much more cheaper than water as of this time. It's like back in where I'm from, Sandwich, it's like $1 a 2 liter.
Right.
And so
you can go to Walmart in Galesburg and get $1 for a 2 liter of
absolutely County
Dr.
Market.
Pepper.
County Market's got like County Market's got like 89 cents for a 2 liter. Yeah. Those are the standard like nice brands.
Nice brands.
The nice brands, yeah. Literally the nice. They have the generic nice brand. It's like 89
cents.
Walgreens
is that's
no, that's also in county.
Oh, is it now?
It is in county. Yeah, I just went there yesterday. But no, it's just a cheaper option for mostly everybody, and just a tax that'll certainly bring down the poor people, the lower class.
Right. I mean, it was penny per ounce. That's what it was. So your 12-ounce can of soda was going to cost 12 cents more. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you multiply that out, times 12.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because most of them come in a 12 pack.
Yeah, there's $1.44 just an additional tax.
You see, and that's why it was such a regressive tax.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it hurts the people that need the most help. And that was the. I mean, other than it just being an egregious tax, that was definitely something that I guess I rallied against.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we're going to start taxing people, consumption taxes like that, let's not target the people who need the most help.
Absolutely. It's why bring the lowest person down?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I completely agree.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. So you drink much of that Voss Smart Water?
I have it all the time. I just bathe in this stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
you at the ZBT house, right?
Yeah, that's right. The ZBT. It's all we do is bathe in Voss water.
Yep. This is why you join a frat.
Right? That's right. You join a fraternity. Just bathing in Voss water all day, every day.
Was that in your initiation ceremony?
I cannot talk about that. No.
I know. Andrew's in ZBT here on campus.
That's good old-fashioned Zeta Beta Tau. That's right. Anyone
Tau.
listening, if you want to join up, it's a fun time, I tell you. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. We're full of shameless plugs.
There we go. Speaking of which, Warren County Libertarian Party. When's that meet, Brody?
Last Tuesday of the month. So
right around the corner. Right around the corner. That's right.
Right around the corner.
What time do they meet?
They meet at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5
okay.
o'clock. Tuesday, Guadalajara.
Anybody interested, head over to Guadalajara, and we'll have a good old-fashioned Warren County Libertarian Party meeting.
That's right.
It's always a fun time.
It is.
Brody's such an inspirational leader.
I am. I am. I mean, that's why I'm on the show. Right?
That's right. That's why you're here.
I am the voice of Monmouth College. Let's call it that way, right? This is why no one listens, right? Anyway.
That's right.
But no, yeah, it's. Needless to say, though, I mean, I joke about that, but no, I think I try making a difference in the community, with the show and the other things I'm involved in. This is definitely what radio is supposed to be about, right?
Absolutely.
Radio itself is. It's dying out, Andrew. I mean,
it is.
Let's call it as it is, right?
Well, certainly the 1980s were the start of that. Did you ever hear the song "Video Killed the Radio Star"?
Video killed the radio star, Andrew.
That's right.
That's right.
And then another one came out called "Radio Gaga" by Queen. It was also talking about the death of the radio.
Death of the radio. But see, the days of the family sitting around the radio in the evening are long
they're way
gone. I mean,
yeah.
it isn't even that. I mean, you look at media consumption itself, right? You know, people are just spending all their time, watching TV and or on their computer watching YouTube or Netflix or Hulu or whatever whatever you're watching, and no one's listening to the radio anymore. And it's kind of sad that we boil down to this, and this is why the radio stations that have survived have all gone nationally syndicated shows, right?
Yeah,
or mostly nationally syndicated shows. They may only have maybe one or two actual live shows, at a station, and of course, that's just how it is. And unfortunately, the days of having, a full block of local radio DJs, it's gone. And it's cheaper for the radio stations to go out and subscribe to a nationally syndicated show and put that on than to pay someone to run a switchboard and talk all day.
Yeah, no, it's certainly there. Gone are the days of the fireside chats from the 1940s.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, right? The reason why I guess I am so involved with WPFS is because this is the last kind of bastion of independent radio, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there is a couple syndicated shows on WPFS, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But that's it, right? There's only a handful, and a lot of those shows are special interest. Like we have Radio Theater here, right?
Yeah.
Or Sunday mornings, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. That's a syndicated church show. But the majority of the shows on here are not nationally syndicated. They are local DJs that are getting up here and talking and doing what radio was supposed to be about. And even some of the major shows that we have syndicated here, right? Heartland Politics with Robin Johnson, right?
Yep.
Robin Johnson is a professor here at the college, and his show's syndicated Wednesdays at noon. His normal show goes live on Sunday at a radio station in Burlington, where he's from, and it's replayed here. So I wouldn't say that it's nationally syndicated. That's just an extension, right?
Yeah,
and then
more of an extension.
All right, and then on Fridays and Saturdays, of course, you got Backstage Pass.
Yeah,
or Fridays and Sundays. Sorry, you have Backstage Pass, and that's produced right here in the studio. They interview local up-and-coming artists. And, I guess radio isn't, at least at WPFS, radio isn't dead, right? And, of course, we have all the DJs on here. And you know what? There is a diverse selection of shows, for sure. I mean, we have shows like, like Maddie Baker's, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maddie Baker, she does musicals, right? She does. She plays musicals and gives commentary and trivia about these musicals. Of course, then there's my own, and I am the only, other than Robin Johnson's show, I am the only political talk show on the station, right?
Absolutely.
There's a little bit of everyone. Lily has a show on Monday nights. And it's all in Spanish. I mean, it's a show all in Spanish for our Spanish listeners. You don't see that, out of your normal radio station. So this is definitely the last bastion of free non-syndicated show or radio, and I love it. It gives me so much freedom to talk about whatever I want. Right. Now, some people can't handle those freedoms, but for me, it's been a great thing, and that's something I'm definitely going to harp on this last season of Wall to Wall Politics here on WPFS. Like I said, I've really enjoyed doing this. I have, not trying to make the farewell tour happen right now, but it's been good. This has been one heck of a ride for me. And you know what? Truth be told, I mean, if if some radio station out there, wants to hire me to do an hour show on a weekend, I would be more than happy to continue wall-to-wall politics on whatever radio station that is.
Well, Brody, if I can say one thing, is I always enjoyed listening to you, bud. A lot
of people listen. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's something I've learned. It wasn't, there's always that joke, don't cut. You can cuss on the air because no one's listening, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that joke.
But because no one listens to WPFS. But I've learned that people tune in and listen to wall-to-wall politics on a weekly basis, and I think I've made an impact in the community.
That's what the goal of any radio show is, correct? Make an impact in the community.
I think so. I think so. And I thank Monmouth College for giving me the opportunity to have a show. This has worked out great for me. People, the college, Chris Goebel, all the radio execs who worked with me over the years, my fellow DJs. It's been phenomenal.
Like I said, Brody, it's been a treat listening to you. But I know this is not your final episode. This is the beginning of the final season.
Right.
We got to have kind of the farewell thing going.
Right. Do you want to come back on my very last episode?
I will absolutely come back on your very last episode.
All right.
I love to be there.
All right. I'll have to figure out what that last day is. I think I got 16 more weeks or something like that of wall-to-wall politics planned.
All right.
So
I'm being all 16, right?
Yeah. You get to sit in the corner, Andrew.
Yeah. Yay. It's more than I do on my usual Sundays. But,
I know. Shoot. All right. So let's see here. We'll talk one more thing about radio before we go to commercial break. Okay.
Okay.
So I was gonna carry this until the next break, but I think it's appropriate now while we're talking about it. Talking about the impact of WPFS on the community itself, right? It's not just Monmouth. That's the thing. It is not just Monmouth. It's people always say, "Oh, that's just that one thing the college does, and it broadcasts out the Monmouth, and that's about it." No, I mean, we're a low power FM station, right? I mean, this is on the air. I mean, people can tune in. I mean, it's 100 watts is low power FM. Anything more than that, you gotta start paying FCC licensing and all that other good stuff. So we're in that weird niche. It's 100 and less. And what ends up happening is WPFS really reaches a lot farther than Monmouth. I mean,
it does.
I mean, I was talking to Andrew about this before the show began. I went up to the Quad Cities yesterday, right? And I was able to pull in WPFS until about on the other side of Iola, right? I mean, we're sitting about, 10, 15 miles away from the Quad Cities at that point. WPFS would be able to, you can pick it up on, east side of Galesburg, Knoxville, East Galesburg, whatever. You can pick up WPFS in Burlington. You can pick up WPFS all the way down on the other side of Roseville. It's not just about Monmouth. We broadcast out into many counties and many communities. And I like to think that we're making an impact somehow.
As should be the goal of any radio station.
Yep. But anyway, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more wall-to-wall politics on WPFS, Proud Fighting Scots Radio, 105.9, Monmouth.
Imagine yourself locked outside, starving, severely dehydrated, wondering what you did wrong. You cannot speak for yourself. Nobody will listen. Nobody will understand. When you try to speak, you are beaten for it. What did you do to deserve this? Where did you go wrong? Pets suffer every day, but you can help. Consider adopting an animal today. Stop animal cruelty.
We have all heard the saying, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me." DoSomething.org reports that nearly 43% of kids have been bullied online. Bullying victims are 2 to 9 times more likely to consider committing suicide. Words can hurt. They can kill as well. 1 in 4 kids have been bullied more than once. 90% of teens who have seen social media bullying say they have ignored it. If you have seen cyberbullying, report it to campus security immediately. Let's work to make Monmouth a better place.
Wow, our campus is so beautiful.
I know, right? It's so awesome.
Look, they're littering.
Boy, if you don't.
If you see or drop trash, pick it up, because it not only harms our earth, but the plants and animals that inhabit it.
Plus, it makes everything look bad.
So the next time you see or drop trash, please throw it away, because ain't nobody got time for litter.
Hey man, you want a cig?
Nah, I got practice soon, but thanks.
Dude, come smoke and hang. You're always at practice.
Whoa, relax. I'm trying to make captain next semester.
Alright man, go run then.
11 minutes of your life is shed with each cigarette smoke, and about 500,000 fatal losses are reported due to lung cancer. Say no to cigs. Your body would appreciate it.
1 in 4 children in America grow up without learning how to read. Read, Lead, Achieve is Pi Beta Phi's philanthropic effort that believes in the power and importance of literacy. Pi Beta Phi strives to make a positive impact on young lives and help inspire a lifelong love of reading that can unlock true potential, creating a more literate and productive society. With the continual support of Read, Lead, Achieve, we can climb the ladder of success in assisting children in learning how to read. For more information on Read, Lead, Achieve, please visit pibetaphi.org. One child, one moment at a time, one life changed forever.
Mom, if college, stand up for Umoja. Umoja is Swahili for unity. Umoja is a black student organization that promotes unity. Umoja brings a diverse group of students together to talk about issues that may not be directly discussed on campus. The topics vary from African American culture, how to be successful in and out of the classroom, how to be a successful leader on Monmouth College campus, and what's going on in the world around us. Umoja is open to all people, hence the word unity. Show up and show out.
And we're back on WPFS, Proud Fighting Scots Radio 105.9 Monmouth. You're tuned in to Wall to Wall Politics, and I'm your host, Brody Anderson. Thank you for tuning in on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. So we're back. We're back for season 3. You know, we really had this really impromptu, heartfelt session. I mean, you know, we weren't planning. Me and Andrew were trying to figure out what we were going to talk about a couple days ago, and you know, we didn't expect to have this really heartfelt session about my final season and the role of local radio versus nationally syndicated radio. I mean, that was totally impromptu. I think that worked out really well, Andrew.
It really did.
I think it drove
a heart right there.
Yeah. Like I said, and this is why Andrew is one of my favorite guests to have on.
So, Brody, I noticed you mentioned, was it Robin Johnson earlier on?
Robin Johnson.
About the education. You yourself are an education major.
Yes, I am. I'm working on my history major right now, and I'm working on my education licensure. And that's just a weird system. We'll call it as it is. But I mean, I'm technically graduated. You know, on the books, graduated in March. Right? I mean, or sorry, not in March. In May, sorry.
In May, yeah.
In March. Wow.
Wow, you're graduating pretty early.
That'd be pretty nice, wouldn't it?
Just got there's your degree.
See ya. Anyway.
Adios and vaya caninos.
All right, but anyway. No, in May, right. And it's a weird thing. So I graduated my history major, right? I walk across stage, shake Clarence's hand, hand me a piece of paper, and we're good. Yeah, good job. Right. All this hard work. But, you know, I'm still not officially done yet, you know, because I still do my student teaching. And since student teaching is facilitated by the college but ran by the state, I still have to come down here once a week to work my EdTPA. Yeah. My EdTPA, and then I have student teaching somewhere in the great blue yonder of Illinois, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And
yep.
And then they mentioned, I was talking to somebody last semester, and they were talking like, you cannot go to, like, anywhere near your home school.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? And a lot of people, they usually don't let you in. Sorry to cut you off, Andrew.
That's all right. Go ahead.
But they usually don't let you in your home school district. You can teach around. You can teach around, but they always run that risk of you could be placed somewhere you have never heard of.
Yeah. for example, like I'm up near like the suburbs of Chicago, near that area,
Mm-hmm.
and also I'm getting placed down somewhere like Marion. I'm like, oh hey, what's going on here? And like all of a sudden you got to find out. Okay, I need to find something on the side essentially to help me pay for whatever I need to be paid for. Like
Right.
finding housing and obviously food, water, all that other stuff,
Right.
And then you're like, okay, now how am I going to balance this out? I got to student teach somewhere in like Southern Illinois. Like how am I going to figure out what am I going to do? Like,
Well, yeah, and then you have enough money to to pay for just your expenses of living there on top of what you are doing in your student teaching, and that's a full-time job. I mean, that is just about as close as you can be to being a teacher. That you're not across that threshold yet.
That's right. It's the closest thing to be a teacher without actually being a teacher.
Right?
Yeah.
Without
Hence the name student teacher.
Yeah. Without collecting a paycheck, every 2 weeks. So.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, and then you have to go through all the education courses through here, and that's all facilitated by the state. And I know you had your frustrations with it early on because right now you're overloading your schedule in order to fit everything in.
So yeah, last semester I overloaded hardcore. Right. I mean, they recommend 4 credits, right? That
4.5 is the 4.5 is the max amount you can go.
Is the max amount, right? 4.5 is the max, but they usually say shoot around 4, right?
Yeah.
Shoot around 4. Anything above 4.5 credits is overload. Now, just as a reference, the credit system works different at Monmouth College than what it is elsewhere in the college. So people, you're just taking 4 credits. That's like a class and a half, right?
Yeah.
No, because sometimes it all depends on how many credits it is, but it usually shoots between 3 and 4 normal credits. At a university. That was something that confused me when I came to Monmouth College because I went to Sauk Valley Community College. I was a transfer. Go Skyhawks. But, yeah, I know, go Skyhawks.
Whoa.
Opposed to the Groundhawk, right? Right? Anyway, Skyhawks, right. Anyway, digressing. That's what always threw me off, though. The credit numbers were so weird. You had, you'd be taking, 15 credit hours at Sauk versus something like, 4 here. And that's like, that's almost the same kind of a thing like that. I have... Back to what you were saying though. Yes, I was overloaded up the wazoo. I mean, I was at 6.
That's
6
quite
credits
a bit.
last semester.
That is quite a bit.
And that's about as far as you can go.
Yeah.
I mean, and I barely finished that semester.
I know. I always remember. I always ran into you. I'd always talk to you. You get some sleep last night. You go, no, maybe about half an hour to an hour. I'm like, dude, get some sleep.
Yeah, I was running on nothing.
Oh my! I remember you mentioned a couple times literally your nose would just bleed.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was getting nosebleeds. I was so stressed out.
Yeah, I know absolutely, but I could have to tell something's wrong with you.
Yeah,
because we had that 7 to 8:15 p.m. with Professor Best. But the Assassination Lincoln, by the way, it's just a great course. You should take it.
That is a good course.
That is a pretty good course.
I know Aaron's taking that.
Yeah, Aaron's taking it right now, but. Anyways, I remember to always see you there, and also you're just kind of like there. You're like your eyes were bloodshot. And it was just horrible to see, bud. It was very well like a very sore sight.
Yeah, I know. I was falling apart last semester. And here's the thing: this semester it's lighter, but still not light. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. It's lighter, but it's still not light.
Yeah.
So right now, I think 4.75 is what I'm taking this semester. Okay. Which is
easier compared to what you took
very easier,
last year.
compared to 6. Now, granted, I took an IP in progress in one of the education course 310, and so I'm carrying part of the workload into this semester, which I'm working on still. That's a very difficult course. People always say that's the hardest course in the education department is MTCE 310, and that's all about assessment and grading.
Yeah.
How do you create a proper test? How do you collect data? How do you show that data, to your school board when that time comes? You have to defend yourself.
Yeah,
it's not an easy course. It's not an easy course. So I'm carrying a little bit of that into this semester, but I finished over half of it last semester when I took that IP. I counted. I have 3 assignments left, right?
Okay.
I have 3 assignments.
3 assignments?
Versus out of the 7, 8, 9, whatever it was, that was, that was given in that class. So, I've carried a little bit of that, but it isn't like I'm taking it all.
Yeah, no, then
So.
one thing I noticed is it's becoming much, much harder to become a teacher. I know I was talking to one of the professors here, and he was talking about what would do to become a teacher way back when. It was like a 820 ACT or something like that.
Oh yeah,
It was way easier right now. I mean, I'm sure it was older than a 20 ACT, but it was way easier back then to become a teacher than it would be right now. There's a lot more regulations pushed upon you because we were trying to get our students to become smarter.
Right.
Obviously. So there's a lot more regulations. However, some of them do seem a little unnecessary.
Sure.
And then it's just the fact that if you're going, for example, you're becoming a history teacher.
Right.
Why would you need to learn how to teach math?
So yeah. So that was something that was brought up. In one of the classes I'm taking, we had to create lesson plans for classes that aren't even close, right? So, with a history major and the education licensure, it allows you to teach all social sciences, okay? So let's recap the social sciences, okay? We have history, government, anthropology, psychology, sociology, geography. And those are your social sciences.
That are social sciences, correct.
And then, of course, I guess on a better standpoint, it says because I'm getting my history major, that also allows me to teach AP courses, advanced placement courses, and honors courses at the history level. I can't teach like an AP sociology or something like that, but I could teach an AP history. So AP European history, AP US history, whatever. But yes, it's difficult to become a teacher. But
it is,
as you were saying, Andrew.
But yeah, so it's much because a lot of kids are becoming a lot more smarter per se, so we need to kind of keep up with them. But I think the point I was trying to make there with you, trying to say why you need to learn how to do math.
Oh yeah, that was the point.
Is the idea of that is entirely unnecessary for you to learn how to teach math. Because I highly doubt the school boards can come to you saying, "Hey, can you teach math one of these days?" Because that's illegal,
right?
Because you have nothing whatsoever in math,
right? I mean, yeah, that's the thing. If I had to turn around and teach something that I'm not licensed in, we would all get in trouble if the state ever audited the books. I mean, if the state ever looked down and went, okay, why do you have all these teachers teaching things that aren't even close? You're in trouble. I mean, you're in big trouble.
You're kind of in trouble, yes.
Yep, the school, it's a bad deal when that happens. So, and that was something that a lot of people complain about in this education course is that we had to do assignments. We had to create math lesson plans and language arts lesson plans, and the question is, I can't do that because if I do, I can't teach that. So, if I'm going to be spending my time in a class, an education course, I want to do something practical. I want to do something that's going to benefit me in my career.
Absolutely.
Right. I want to do things that will help me out later on down the road. I don't want things that will not apply to me. Right. I mean, we can what if all day. I think there's merit in some things like ELL. If you have you may have people who English isn't their primary language in your classrooms, and that's fine. Having classes about that's fine. That makes sense. Being able to understand students with 504s, IEPs, disabilities, whatever. I understand. Take classes on that, but let's not do classes that are just busy work and do not make sense.
Absolutely, because as a college student, you already got enough on your plate. Let alone you need more on it. You're getting literally skin another plate full of mashed potatoes per se. Right. It's just filler.
Right. A lot of it's filler work, and there's the licensure requirements that the state dictate. Definitely have the problem of a lot of it's busy work. If you look at what the state dictates and what the colleges, not just Monmouth, but across the board, across the board in the state, what they have to do to facilitate, it makes no sense.
Absolutely not.
Just call it as it is.
It's just way out there. I remember, oh my goodness, this is a little bit ago, but one of the primary reasons why I really looked into becoming an education major, aspiring education major currently.
Right. Yeah. Let's back up for a second, Andrew. Though you're a history major.
Yes, I'm a history major, and then I got a classics minor as well on me, and then I'm also aspiring education.
Right.
So one of the reasons why I really wanted to become an education major was because my high school years. I had one or two good teachers. I'm like, yeah, I can do this too. And then I'm hearing from you all about these courses because I personally haven't took them yet. And I sit there and I wonder why. Why? Why would we have to learn this per se? Like, understand me. I learn about the teaching methods and all that other stuff.
Right.
However, I keep using the math example.
Right.
It's just the idea of learning something completely out of the box.
Right.
It's just. I don't need more on my plate. Okay, I have plenty of other things to do.
Right.
And I don't need any more things to do.
Right. And
on top of that.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, if you look at what's required for your major versus my major, right? Because you're the extra minor.
Yeah, I have the extra minor.
You have more classes. You have more things to do than I do, right?
Yes, I do.
And yeah,
no.
I mean, all seriously, you have that classics minor on top of your history major and your educational licensure. You know, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
I've shot myself in the foot.
I mean, you're looking at I'm future you, right? I mean, you're gonna be at 6 credits. It's gonna be a good time.
That's right. I've always aspired to be you, Brody.
That's right.
That's why many people call me Little Brody. But
Little Brody.
Little Brody.
You're bigger than I am, though.
Yeah, bigger than little. Yeah. Big Brody.
Big
Little
Brody.
Yeah.
Anyhow, go on.
So, anyways, I have a point. Like I said, I just kind of hammer it home.
Right.
Is just do not give me extra work that I do not need.
Right.
It's essentially the point I'm just trying to make here. Is don't make my life more difficult than it already is,
right.
Please.
And I think part of the problem is the state's got too much hand in it, right?
Absolutely.
I guess
way too much.
I guess trying to get this back on a political side of it.
That's right.
This
please.
is a political talk show, right? No, I mean, it's a good conversation, though. I mean, it isn't anything that we need to shy away from because this, teachers are state employees. They are. Their paycheck comes from tax dollars. I mean, so therefore it's politics. But yeah, I mean, I think it's because the state's got too much hand in it. I think they've really screwed with the board.
They have,
and it's just bad. I mean, they put so much high requirements on it with busy work and things that will not help you later on down the road.
That, and I think the national government as well also has a hand in it.
Well, the joke is, there's a great joke between the education people is you don't like state standards, wait 2 weeks and it'll be something different. So, right? But no, I mean that's obviously a joke, but it isn't far off from not being a joke. I mean, it's once every 2 years or something like that. They change everything.
Yeah.
I mean, so how difficult is it? I mean, I feel sorry for the education coordinators. At the colleges, right? I mean, having to keep track of all that stuff, that's got to be a nightmare.
That absolutely
has to be a nightmare.
All props to them.
Right. I mean, props to the education coordinators. And then, of course, the teachers or the education professors on the other side of that, who are facilitating those classes.
Yeah, they're just doing what the state requires them to do.
Right. I mean,
you can't fault him for doing that.
Right. I mean... Yeah, having to uproot your entire course every couple years.
Yeah,
that's got to be frustrating. That has to be frustrating.
That absolutely has to be.
So,
it's like I said, the idea of Common Core essentially, how the national government's trying to get everybody to be on the same level. I think the problem with that is we all come from different regions.
Well,
we
yeah,
all have different sorts of education.
Right.
For example, like a kid in the Midwest, kind of like myself, would have a way different education than somebody like Northeast.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. We're trying to make uniforms of people who are not uniforms.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
It's trying to tell a goldfish to go climb up a tree. It's not going to work.
It's not going to climb up a tree. It's not going to make it much out of the bowl. Anyway,
it'd be America if they made it all the way up.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, they need to change. I mean. They need to have standards and stick with them, right?
Yes.
And I am debating the best way to do that, right? And there isn't a right answer for this.
No, there is not.
That's something that I've harped on this show over and over again. That there isn't a right answer. It isn't like we're doing the wrong thing and suddenly if we do this one thing, it's going to be right. That isn't the thing. This is complicated business stuff.
It is.
But, I wonder, a lot of this education stuff is party politics, right?
It is.
Whoever controls the House at the time, whoever controls your state house, your national house, your senates, whatever. It's all party politics, right?
It really is.
Stop putting party politics into education, right? This isn't stuff. This isn't stuff to put your hands into and play around with just because. Oh, now the Democrats are in charge. Oh, now the Republicans are in charge. That isn't.
It just changes every 2 years, essentially.
That isn't the point. That isn't what we're supposed to be doing here. We as teachers are here to educate the next generation.
Absolutely.
Right. We are just we're employees like anyone else when it boils down to it. Stop playing with education requirements. Stop flipping them around. And you know what the big question is? This is something that irks me is, what do they know? I mean, all seriousness, what do they know? What makes someone who wins a state house race, right? Who may be, who was, a lawyer or, just your normal man's man or, whatever, right? Who isn't a teacher. What makes them more qualified to dictate educational standards than a teacher?
Because evidently they know more than we do.
That's right. And to be quite frank, I don't think they do.
I don't
think they do.
Remember the Know Nothing Party?
I remember the Know Nothing.
Yeah. It's essentially the Know Nothing Party is just spread to everyone else because they know nothing, essentially. Like, they know one thing, how to appeal to the voter.
That's right.
That's just about it. They're not experts in anything whatsoever. And that's one of the main problems the U.S. political system has right now.
I agree.
Is the fact that nobody knows anything. They're just trying to do what the party wants.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
There's a bunch of yes men. Like, yes, we can do this. Yes, yes,
well, yeah,
yes.
Yeah. We're all going to fall in line or you're going to lose your seat, kind of a thing like that.
Absolutely.
There's always been that, getting on that line. And this isn't something that we were going to talk about today, but we'll go down it if you want. Before we got to take this commercial break, a lot of this stuff is, falling in line with the party. I remember there was that conversation at one time when Bernie was losing, right? When Bernie in the last 2016 election, Bernie was losing, and there was that conversation that apparently was leaked that Bernie wanted to run as an independent afterwards, right?
Yeah,
he wanted to win. And the question, and the Democratic Party got to him and said, "You know what? It's either you get in line, or we'll run someone against you in your Senate seat, and you'll lose." It's this fall in line mentality. I mean, this happens all across the board at all levels. This isn't just your upper echelons of House and Senate. This is you fall in line with the party, or you're done. So, I guess that relates back to education.
I guess that does, yeah.
So
it's the idea of everybody falling in line with the education system. If not, hey, guess what? We're going to fail you. You're going to be on the streets. Congratulations.
Yep.
What have you done?
Right, what have you done? Anyway, on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll when we get back, we'll talk about higher ed for our last segment. We'll talk about as the state's got their hands in secondary and primary ed, maybe the solution's in higher ed? We'll talk about that when we get back on Wall to Wall Politics, only on WPFS, proud Fighting Scots Radio, 105.9, Monmouth.
Calling all musicians. There's an opportunity you aren't capitalizing on. The Monmouth College Fighting Scots Marching Band wants you, that's right, you, to carry on the legacy of the Fighting Scots Marching Band. But I haven't been playing for long. They'd never let me in. That's not true. They're looking for players of all skill levels, without an audition. But who can I go to so that I can join? Just call 309-457-2397 to speak to the band director, Jordan Van Dyke. That's 309-457-2397.
Extra, read all about it. The Courier's looking for available writers.
Hey, kid.
Who you calling a kid?
What did you say about the Courier?
They're looking for interested writers to help write for the newspaper.
Excellent. This can help out with my resume. Where would I go and when?
Every Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the student publications room located in the lower level of Stockdale.
Gee, thanks, kid.
I'm not a kid.
I'm a future doctor and a leader.
I'm a future Spanish professor and a leader. I'm a future journalist and a Kappa. Well, you know what I mean.
Becoming a Kappa member provides you with the opportunity to grow, learn, and develop the leadership abilities needed to help you achieve your educational and career goals. Founded at our very own Monmouth College in 1870, Kappa Kappa Gamma has a legacy of sisterhood, philanthropy, and inspires its members to achieve the highest type of womanhood. To learn more, visit our Facebook page or head to kappakappagamma.org. Kappa Kappa Gamma, aspire to be.
This year's upstairs cafeteria sure looks fancy.
Bro, there's not enough seats though.
I just wish they improved the quality and variety of food instead of just changing the look.
A lot of money went into upgrading to fancy TVs, chairs, tables, yet we have the same food.
This is not the end for your taste buds.
You can visit and contact Change Food for the Better on Facebook. Let's change the food system at Monmouth College. Once again, Change Food for the Better on Facebook.
And we're back on WPFS, Proud Fighting Scots Radio 105.9. Monmouth, you're tuned in to Wall to Wall Politics, and I'm your host, Brody Aronson. Thank you for tuning in on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I'm joining us you today with the myth, the legend, Andrew-Angus. Andrew,
One, the only.
How are you, Andrew?
Oh, you know me, I'm just living the dream.
Oh, yeah.
Someday I'll wake up.
Yep, that's one of my lines. Anyway.
I commandeered that line. That's not my line.
A lot of people commandeer my lines.
Yeah. All right, no royalties whatsoever. But
That's
anyway,
right. That's right. But yeah, thank you for coming on today. I've really enjoyed this dialogue. We've been having about education.
Thank you for having me, Brody. I always enjoy talking to you, no matter what.
So,
you're welcome. No.
You're welcome. You probably could have worded that a little better, right?
Yeah. The check's in the mail, right?
No, the check's in the mail. That's right.
All right.
Anyway, so we left off the last segment. We were talking about, maybe the solution isn't in primary and secondary ed. If you want to teach, maybe the solution is at the upper levels. Maybe it's being a college professor.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the idea: is like secondary primary ed, you cannot have any politics in it whatsoever. You can describe what the main function of the party is. You cannot have an opinion, though.
Right.
And then you go up to college, and the professors are highly opinionated on who they support for politics.
Right.
There's always this biased view. So I think one of the things is kind of follow the secondary education is kind of eliminate politics from college, essentially. I know having an opinion is important, but however, you need straight facts and not opinions in college in order to learn. So it's that idea of just getting rid of the politics within college as well, so that way people are allowed to freely think what they want.
Right, I agree. But the problem is, though, college jobs are few and far between.
Yes, they are,
and that's something I really want to harp on in this final segment that we have together today. College jobs are few and far between, and the fault for that is education at the higher level has flooded the system on that, right?
Yeah.
It's a simple, it just boils down to a simple fact. There's not enough jobs for all people going in.
Right. Because people flood the market with master's, doctorates, and when they get to it, all of a sudden they're overqualified for the lower positions,
right,
and there's not enough positions up there for them to actually get a job.
Right, yeah, and that's something else I get at, right? So we have, there isn't enough openings at any of the universities across the board. It doesn't matter if it's a community college, doesn't matter if it's Harvard, right?
Yeah.
Or anywhere in between. There isn't enough jobs, period, for people who have gone their lives and gone far enough to get that doctorate. And of course, some people think, if I can't teach there, that's fine. I'll just fall into a high school, right?
Yeah.
You have overqualified yourself, and you will not get that job.
No,
Simple as
won't.
that. Simple as that. It's a shame because we've pushed, and you see this all the time here on campus, here at Monmouth College, and I'm sure it's like that across the board coast to coast, right?
Absolutely.
This isn't an issue.
This isn't a strictly Illinois problem.
Yeah, this is coast to coast. I mean, it boils down to just, quite frankly, not being enough jobs, and we've overqualified ourselves, and now you're stuck. Now you are stuck. You have to go into that higher field that there isn't enough jobs in, and then you have these awful situations that I keep hearing about. You have people. You have 120 candidates applying for a job, and everyone's qualified, and the majority of them are equally qualified.
Absolutely.
How do you pick? I mean, that's what it boils down to. How do you pick? You have one job. There's one slot. How do you pick from 120, quote unquote, equally qualified candidates?
But I think that's a problem I believe that the Class 6 department is having right now with their vacant position for a full-time professor, is they have a lot of people coming in, and they only have one job to fill.
Right.
And then all of them are, I go around, I show them around the Shields collection because I currently volunteer there. By the way, Shields collection is a great place to be. Another shameless plug. See how many I can get through the hour. But anyways, I go around and I would show the candidates, like, through the Shields collection, okay, this is the artifacts we have. Like, this is like the Canopus stone. Here we have figurines of the Greeks and Romans. And they're all very smart. The problem is there's only one job and only one person can get it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. All these people are qualified. They all, quote unquote, deserve that job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and it's just how do you pick it? I mean, it's it's beyond me how I mean, I'm sure they have a system. I'm sure they do.
They probably do, but
I mean, it's out of 120 jobs, 121 job, 120 candidates. That's got to be tough, especially when everyone's qualified like that. And the thing is, too often, I remember Tim Johnson, right? Tim Johnson was a Spanish professor here at Monmouth College, and also he was a Spanish professor over at Knox College. Tim Johnson, doctorate in foreign language. He spoke Spanish and he spoke a couple other languages too. Brilliant guy. Too often we have these situations that these brilliant people are stuck as either adjuncts or visiting assistant professors. Now, of the two, you'd rather be an assistant visiting professor than an adjunct because you're going to make more money. Adjuncts, are just to the whim of the universities. And at least with the visiting professors, you have 1 year. Maybe even 2 years. And you can get your feet wet, but the thing is, right after that, you have to find a new job.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we have visiting professors still running around.
Yeah, we do.
In all departments.
Absolutely.
It's not just it's not just here's this one field that's that's just full of this revolving door. No, it's across the board.
Absolutely,
it is across the board. And you know what? That's got to be this is something we don't talk about a lot on the show, but there's definitely a human aspect behind that, right?
Absolutely, there is.
You're going to spend 20, 25 years just patching things together, barely, right?
Yeah,
making not a lot of money, having to go from state to state, coast to coast, so forth and so on, over and over again. And then let's turn around and you finally get that job. You finally get that job. You found your sweet spot, if you find it. I'll get to if you don't find it in a second. You're now 60 years old, right? You've done 25, 30 years of jumping around. There's no time for you at all anymore.
No whatsoever.
I mean, you're not going to be able to, you have kids. I mean, at the most basic level, you're not going to be able to have a family. And that's just sad for someone who wants to have a family or something like that.
Yeah,
it's just sad that we've created this situation through this program, through a flooded market, that you are going to be patching along, just barely able to make it, and it's just sad.
Really.
I mean, you have these people who have spent, thousands and thousands of dollars and years and years going to get their doctorates, and they are experts in the field. They are geniuses. And they get jumped around like they do, and finally get a job, and you're on the sunset. You're riding off into the sunset. It's it's the tail end of your life, kind of like that. It's sad. And the other half of that is, what if you don't get a job, right? What if you don't get a job? You have people who are doctorates in the field, right, who are geniuses, and eventually they just get sick and tired of doing this jumping around thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? They just get out of it. They get a job, as, something else that, obviously won't pay as good as if you were a doctorate, I hate to throw the bartender thing, but you're gonna be a bartender, you're gonna be a factory worker, whatever, and you are so qualified to be something more than that, but you've just found work just doing that, and it's sad.
It really is.
It's sad. I mean, you've spent all that time and money on on your research. You are a literal genius, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna you're going to pull a lever in the factory all your life. You're going to be a bartender. You're going to be a trashman. You're going to be whatever. That isn't right. And this isn't really, I guess, a political issue per se, but I wish there was a way that a lot of these people could get more jobs. But unfortunately, we at the college level, and you see it all the time here, we push people who have a major that doesn't quite fit into, something with an actual set goal at the end. You get someone who's got to be like a classicist, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do as a class major? Well, you just keep pushing along. You get your doctorate, you get your master's, you get your doctorate in classics or something like that.
Yeah, and most people who do classic major are like a lawyer or something along the lines
right,
of that.
Yeah. And you could always do that option too, but those who want to stay in academia, as the theme of the show has been today about academia and teaching, you're going to do that, and all of a sudden you're overqualified. And we need to stop pushing people towards these paths that they're going to live these absolutely miserable lives, and it's just sad.
It is.
It's just sad.
And then most people come out of college in debt.
Oh yeah, that's the other half of it.
You're going to have to find a way to pay that off.
Right.
For example, I'm projected to come out like $30,000 in the hole.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because most people, I'm assuming you're becoming out of college in debt as well.
Yeah.
Everybody comes out of college in debt. There's a few lucky that get a full ride and have nothing whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
There are those lucky few. But however, the majority of us will have to pay.
Yeah.
So it's the idea of, okay, now I got my doctorate, I'm like, what, $40,000, $50,000 in the hole?
Right, and now you
what
can't
do I
find
do
stable
now?
work. You can't find stable work, too.
No, you can't. It's like, what are you going to do?
Right.
It's just a sad thing, honestly.
It is. And, we just need to stop encouraging people to go into that. I'm not saying stop the field altogether, but, let the market stable itself out.
Absolutely.
Let the job market stable itself out, and that's just what it's going to have to be.
I'm not trying to push people away from going to college or anything. I think that's why trade schools were invented.
Well, yeah.
Because obviously a plumber, a welder, a computer technician will obviously make a good decent amount of change.
Right. Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. And no one's going in that field.
No.
Those fields are undersaturated.
Because we have this idea of doctorates. Because the idea of doctorates just the be-all, end-all in society. This will make you the richest person ever.
Right. And then, it isn't the case, and
no, it is not.
That's just the sad truth.
It's an unfortunate thing.
Yep. I guess on that depressing note,
yeah,
we're out of time.
Bye.
We're out of time. Andrew, thank you for coming on today. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, Brody.
We'll have you back by the time we wrap this show up.
Yeah, hopefully security let me through again.
Yep, security will let you through again. I promise.
All right.
And this has been Wall to Wall Politics. I'm your host, Brody Anderson. Until then, be nice to each other, and I'll see you all next week.